All right, we're out working on this 455. I've gone ahead, I've got the wheel weights off, so there's the four 50-pound weights, and there are the two starter weights. Super excited to have the starter weights. I'll actually put those on the other 455, and then these will probably just sit in the corner for right now. So I'm working on getting these front end loader brackets off. Figure I need to do that before I clamp the machine. I've never worked with these brackets before, but I think I've done enough research at this point. I think I know what I need. I believe these bolts back here bolt into the frame. These are, I believe, 18 millimeter. I think that's what it is. I'll have to go back through. Oh, here's my 18 millimeter. Maybe those are 20. I'll have to get all my sockets and everything out. I think these are 20 millimeter. Those are 16 millimeter down there. Those are actually bolts. These just bolt into the axles. And then up here we have two, what appears to be two 16 millimeter just bolts that go into threaded holes in the frame. And then we have one, I think it's a 28 millimeter bolt, I believe. And I'm actually using a 1 1/8 inch socket. You can put it on there and it doesn't wiggle too much. So we're going to take those, we're going to take the loader frame off. That way I can actually get some measurements to see if it actually will fit, if the 45 will fit in there. If it doesn't, then I'll sell the loader brackets. If it does, then I'll put the V brackets in there and kind of move from there. Or somebody suggested, I can't remember who, thank you for the suggestion, I hadn't thought about taking these to a fab shop and having them fab up a set of brackets to duplicate these and then selling them, which I may still do. So let me get to working on this. I'll set the camera up. I don't know how good a video it'll actually be. I think what I'm going to do is take off the nuts and bolts on the cross frame member there, and then I'll take off the ones in the front. That way when I take off the ones in the back here, it's completely loose and the transaxle is not flopping around on one side for more than a couple minutes. The longer that transaxle stays unsupported, the more likely you're going to have trouble lining it back up. So let me get to work on this, and I'll set the camera up and we'll see if it makes a decent video. Alright, we'll see if I can get in here and not block the view too much. At least that's my goal. This is actually, in my opinion, a fairly complicated setup. And naturally the nuts are not 16 millimeters as I thought. Let me go grab a couple more wrenches. I think that's one of Deere's favorite tricks to play. Figure out a head size for the nut or for the bolt, and then put something completely different for the nut. Probably because like it's a flange nut or something, I can't really tell. So it's 18, no? What's going on here? We're going to try an 18. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. There's one. There's no, it's not a lock nut or anything. It's just a bolt. I don't think that washer on the ground fell off. Maybe it did. Yeah, it's a solid. No, I don't know. We'll see what the other one looks like. That washer's too big. I think that came off the wheel weights. Alright, so size-wise, So this is actually not a metric. This is not a metric nut. Huh. It's SAE. That's really weird. It's clearly been replaced. Because pretty much everything on Deere's past, oh yeah, the head even says, basically signifies SAE. Go figure. Okay, let's see here. Make sure there's no... Nope, there is no washer. Alright. So there's that part. Now, move up to the front. Alright, let's see if we can get this one off without too much of a pain. My chances are we're going to have to get a wrench to hold the back of it. Yep, gotta get a wrench to hold the back of it. I figured that, but you know, you never know. Alright, see if this will hold it in here, or fit even. I can tell you flat out that these mounts are some kind of weird in terms of fit. Just not a good, they're not easy to work with, put it that way. I mean, once you get it off, it's not bad, but oh, hey, there's only one. Oh, I should have known that. So, there's actually only one bolt up here. The other two bolts, I was thinking, are just part of the frame. They're the deck stops, I believe. Don't you hate when you do that? You get to thinking about something so hard that... You get to thinking about something so hard that you forget exactly what you're doing. I suppose that goes to show that you shouldn't use a screwdriver to pound something out, but I did. Alright, so there's that. Now we can go to the back and take out the back ones and the frame rail will come off. Alright, now get these back bolts off. This ought to be pretty entertaining. I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way. The only problem is not much to grab a hold to. To get it started. I'm afraid that I'm gonna strip the head off the bolt. The back one will be considerably easier. There we go. I think we got it going now. Yeah. Tell you what, doing old school technology with a non-ratcheting wrench is a little bit painful. You get so used to the ratcheting wrenches. Like I said, I'll get some measurements off these. I've already written some down. And then at a later date, I'll come back and determine if I can modify these mounts or... The problem is, I think that the 40 loader sits a little farther back. I haven't been able to go through the parts list for the whole machine, or for the whole loader yet, and so I'm not really sure where the differences lie. I mean, I know the 40 and 45 are pretty similar. They're certainly similar in terms of loader arms. Probably the biggest difference, and actually this affects only the 45, is they changed production styles, I don't know, late in the 45, and the 45 loader arms are a little bit more angular and rounded on the late 45s. I'll take you over and show you on mine here in just a minute, and I'll try to find a picture of a 45 that I used to have. I know I took some pictures of the loader arms, I just got to find them. But other than that, the 40 and 45 were very, very similar. I always struggle with this. Not enough room for me. There we go. The problem is I don't have a ratcheting wrench and 19 millimeters, so it's one of those deals that it's painful, isn't it? So now I'm holding up the loader arm with one arm, and then that way I take the pressure off this bolt. Not light though. Not light. I've gotten a couple emails and a comment about the fact that I bought this machine and the loader sold separately. Whoever bought the loader got a good deal, a good enough deal that they can wait for the mounts to come up for sale if they do, or a set of mounts, not these mounts, but I think they paid a little over $600 after fees for the 40 loader. And I paid a little over $4,000 after fees for this 455. So, you know, it's one of those deals that, yeah, I mean, if you added the loader in there with it, it'd have been a good deal, but I didn't need a loader, so. I used to not discuss price much, but, you know, it's one of those things that I think I've kind of changed my thinking on price, and mostly because everybody looks on Facebook now, and everybody wants a deal. Well, deals are out there, but you got to work for them. All right, there's one loader mount. All right, now that this fat kid's out of breath, there's a loader mount. Like I said, well, only one bolt up front. Then you have the cross brace, and you have the two bolts that bolt to the transaxle in the back. But what I was telling you about, the kind of a side story here, let's wander back and look at the 45. Give me a chance to catch my breath. So I was telling you about the 45 and how it's changed over the years. So this angle right here, if you look, is very, very square. Somewhere mid-late production of the 45, they went to this style. Prior to that, it was actually kind of curved up, and I don't know if that had to do with how they pressed the loader arms, or how they did the seam in the middle, or what. But that was one of the big changes, and I don't think it was ever announced by Deere or anything. It was just a change that we've noticed over the years on the 45. The 40 has a very, very similar substructure. Obviously the mounts are different, but overall the 40 is a very similar structure. It just I don't know where the exact differences lie, so it's just a matter of, I'm gonna have to sit down and maybe something is different with the frame, and I'll have to look up the specs of the 40 and the 45 and see if they're any different. But I'm gonna go get the other loader arm off the 455 and call it a morning. I got a couple errands to do this afternoon, and then hopefully tonight I can get back at it. So thanks for watching.